Welcome to Beyond the Smile. I'm your host, Dr. Layla Haishaw, founder and CEO of the nonprofit Diversity in Dentistry Mentorships Incorporated. In this podcast, Our Huddle, we bring together successful dentists of color to encourage, empower, and educate our mentees to be competitive candidates to successfully get in, get through, and thrive beyond dental school. Are you ready to be inspired into action? Then you're in the right place. Let's huddle up. The inaugural season of the Beyond the Smile podcast has been brought to you by our sponsor and partner, the Benko Dental Family Foundation, the philanthropic division of the Benko Dental Company. Hailing from Hyattsville, Maryland, Dr. Arlene Asante is a dentist, motivational speaker, life coach, businesswoman, and inspiration to many. She attended Howard University College of Dentistry in Washington, D.C., and later attended an advanced education in general dentistry program in Bangor, Maine. She is a certified Invisalign provider and has taken various continuing education courses with highly recognized institutions such as the Phelps Institute Implant Course and Dawson Academy. She has a great passion for implantology, Invisalign, and cosmetic dentistry. Dr. Asante loves treating patients from all walks of life. Her service to her community goes far beyond the walls of dentistry. She is a community leader and, in her spare time, a visionary, founder, and president of Enhancing Adolescent Girls for an Evolving Resolution Incorporated. Eager Incorporated, a mentoring program that has served the Baltimore City community for over 13 years. The program aims to instill integrity, responsibility, respect, honesty, patience, discipline, service, and courage within the ladies that participate. During her downtime, Dr. Asante enjoys traveling, skydiving, music, reading, novels, and spending time with her family and friends. She is an active member of the Maryland Dental Association, the Academy of Oral Surgery, the International Academy of Ceramic Implantology, the National Dental Association, the American Dental Political Action Committee, the Christian Medical and Dental Association, and the American Dental Association, and is a proud member of the Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated. Oh my goodness, there is so much discussed in our conversation that you're going to learn so many gems, and I can't wait for you to meet Dr. Asante. So let's huddle up. Hello, and welcome to another episode of Beyond the Smile, the podcast for the nonprofit Diversity in Dentistry Mentorships. I am your host and proud founder, Dr. Layla Haishaw, and this evening, I'm so excited to introduce you to one of my colleagues, Dr. Arlene Asante. Thank you so much for joining us. You hail from Maryland, and our goal here, and what I have found too in our colleagues, we just have so much more to offer than just dentistry. There's so much, we are multi-passionate and things we have done, and it's really great for our mentees to hear that and see them in you. And this is why we have this podcast, just to share information, inspire, and just help them, guide them along the way. So thank you and welcome.
Oh, thank you. First, I want to give you your flowers and just showing you, thank you so much for taking the time to seek me out and want to interview me. I appreciate everything that you're doing for our community and for the minorities that are interested in pre-dentistry. Because if it wasn't for people like you, I probably myself wouldn't be a dentist today. So I just wanted to just show you some love and just, when you extended this invitation to me, I was so excited. There was no way I could say no.
Oh, that I received that, and I'm so grateful. Thank you for sharing that. Yes, after a long day at work, this is what keeps me going, is because just mentorship, and I know you agree, mentorship just is the heart of our success in anything we do and why we want to give back and reach back and bring them along. So I appreciate those kind words. But yes, I did seek you out because I saw what you're doing, giving back, teaching, educating, inspiring, being on news networks and featured in magazines and founding nonprofits that have been going on for 13 years. And you just started your practice not too long ago. So there's a lot here to cover. We're going to try to do in a short amount of time, but can you just give us just a glimpse into your journey, how you've gotten to where you are now?
Yeah, absolutely. I would say I started off at the age of 13. I had braces. My father, my family's from Ghana, so I'm a first generation American.
Hmm.
So my families were immigrants. They came here. My father, for some odd reason, I don't know why, decided, hey, let me take my kids to the orthodontist to
Hmm.
get the teeth straightened. So I did have, a couple gaps, and I didn't have the prettiest teeth as a child. So something so small, my father didn't think nothing of it. He's just, doing what he needs to do to take care of his children. He
Oh.
takes me, my sister, my brother, and himself, and we went to orthodontist office. And I just fell in love with the office. I fell in love with the staff. I fell in love with the doctor. I just felt like every time I went to the dentist office, it was just such a fun place to be.
Oh.
Little did I know it was going to embark and start this amazing journey that I am on today.
Yeah.
At that time, 13 years old, I told the orthodontist that did my braces, hey, I would love to be a dentist. So he's like, okay, we'll come by and start working at the office. So I started working in
Nice.
the summer at the office. And
And
again,
this is what
still,
you were in high school then, huh? At 13? Oh, eighth grade, ninth grade?
yeah, actually, so yeah, I was like kind of like middle school or something like that.
That's the
So
perfect time to reach kids. Yeah.
yeah, and again, I'm still young, so I didn't know exactly how this connection, that mentoring connection, was so powerful at that time.
Hmm.
Um, so after that, I went to Morgan State University, and I majored in biology. Still having that passion to go to dental school. I did start exploring my other gifts.
Hmm.
That's when I started my mentoring program in Baltimore City in 2009. And the reason why I did that is because I was Miss Sophomore at the time,
Oh,
and just like a campus queen, so you're required to do something in the community. And I
nice.
was like, I really want to connect with young girls, because I had mentors throughout my whole life when I was a kid.
Hmm.
Um, and I believe to this day, without those mentors, or I call them destiny helpers.
Oh, oh, I
Yeah,
love that. Oh, I'm
I
writing that
call
one down.
them
Yes.
I
Uh-huh.
call them destiny mentors or destiny helpers, because they come into your life, they drop seeds, and then they leave and help you get to the next level.
Hmm.
In my life, I didn't really have mentors that stayed with me for years, but I did have, throughout my different seasons, have people come in and out of my life that were impact me in my career and were great mentors. So
Hmm.
yeah, I went to undergrad. I pledged my sorority. I did my mentoring program. I learned more about myself and my gifts. And then after that, I did a master's program in Drexel in Philadelphia, where I did a lot of research. I kind of owned in on dentistry more during my master's program. I kind of was more focused on dentistry. And then I took a year off. I started working in a dentist's office, and then I thought it was a good time. I applied again, and I entered Howard University. And
Okay,
one of
great.
the schools I went to, next to Morgan.
Right.
But yeah, Howard University was an amazing school, amazing experience I had there.
Oh,
So
I
that's kind
bet.
of the fast forward of the journey.
Yeah, I know. There's a lot. I mean, sometimes when we're rattling it off, it's like, oh, that seemed like it didn't take a long time.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
But there's years in there. Now, on the research, can you share just a little bit more? Is that something you kind of recommend to mentees? It's like, how do I stand out with my application? Do I need to do research or should I do more shadowing? What would your recommendation usually be to
Oh,
them?
absolutely. You definitely want to do research. I liked, how can I answer this? Hmm. Research was important because research is a part of dentistry that is not common. Like when you think of dentistry, a lot of people that are not familiar with the field commonly think about research. So research is an important aspect because it helps fuel what we do. Everything that we do in the chair is research based. Any materials we use is research based. So research kind of gives you the background, the literature, and the foundation of dentistry. And it's very special. So I highly recommend any mentor to do research. Other ways to make your application different is to do maybe a mission trip. Do a mission trip is also good, where you can, go on a mission trip and maybe help with like cleaning and setting up and things like that, especially if you're not, since you can't do anything clinical, you can at least assist, you can set up things, learn about the different instruments, pick different dentist brains. So in addition to research, I always recommend mentees when they're applying to dental school have also maybe a mission trip behind their belt. Shadowing as well is so important, and not just shadow your hometown dentist, but shadow specialists, oral surgeons, ortho. Some hospitals have dentists or dental unit. It's always a good opportunity if you can to maybe shadow in the hospital base. Another way to make your application different is do other things. A lot of admissions team wants to know that you're a well-rounded person. So for my application, I did mentoring, which was a huge, big thing on my application that a lot of different dental schools saw me as different, that she was doing dentistry, but she had a love and foundation for the underserved community. So don't just be honing in on dentistry, still show that you have personality, that you have other interests other than dentistry.
Right. And from what I hear from like admissions committee members is they really are looking at the whole person and seeing, do they have that empathy, compassion, cultural competency by just being exposed? When you're in this homogenous little bubble and don't have any experience, then that's going to make you a little bit harder to be able to connect with patients. We all have biases. But sometimes it's going to be a little bit harder when you don't have those extra experiences and expand your network. So I think talking about missions, that's something that doesn't get brought up. So thank you so much for sharing. And I think about when I was in dental school too, we did have a mission trip to an outreach to Venezuela, Barquisimeto of Venezuela. And there were some volunteers who weren't students. But now that I look back at it, yes, for sure, they got to learn the instruments, like they were just kind of cleaning stuff or being the runner. But they were also getting to know some of the faculty who were with us there. So sure enough, they're putting that name with a face and remembering that they came, and they're going to be the ones to kind of speak up for them during application time. So excellent advice. Now, we just kind of glossed over, your whole journey, but now you own your practice. First Class Smiles of Bethesda. Did you always know you wanted to have your own private practice, or maybe you just wanted to kind of feel it out first? What was your dream on that?
Since 13 years old, I wanted my own practice.
Oh, yay.
I want to say that throughout my journey, it was always ownership for me. But ironically, as I was on my journey, a lot of, especially people coming around my year out, so most recent grads, they're kind of discouraged to open their own practice because there's so many competitions such as DSOs, corporate dentistry. So it puts a lot of fear in a lot of new dentists mindset and it causes them not to want to open their own practice. But as I said, since day one, I've always wanted to open my own practice. And when I was working for people, I just knew inside of me that this is just not where I want to be. This is just not where I want to be. I don't want to work for anybody. I had a vision for myself, and I wanted to fulfill it. And you can see just based on my my journey, I'm a visionary person. I'm very creative. I'm a driver. I'm very much so a leader. That's just in my nature. So it would be hard for me to work for somebody long term, fulfilling their vision. It would be really hard for me. And I think personally it wouldn't be fulfilling for me. And I'm glad I opened my own practice. I love it. Every day I just get up and I do what I love. My team is amazing.
You're a great leader, I'm sure. Yeah.
Very empathetic. My team are just great. They love my goals, which is crazy, but they love when I'm happy, and I want to make sure they're happy. I could see even today at work, we were so tired, but we did today was a really good day, and I could just see my team it's like they're so happy to be there.
Oh, that is a wonderful thing. That shows it starts from the top. So it sounds like First Class Smiles of Bethesda is just doing great. You got an amazing team. Your patients are so lucky they have you as their dentist. And I see you offer an array of services, which is great because, I mean, for a patient, I know it's wonderful where they can kind of get everything they need in one practice. But you do Invisalign, you're doing a lot of implants. Tell the students more about that.
Well, I have, as a dentist, when I was younger, my biggest thing was I wanted to be the best. I wanted to be the best. And as I did my training at Howard University, I made sure every department I felt comfortable in as much as possible. I take being the best or being a super doc very personally. So in order for me to be a super doc, I knew that I had to do a lot of CE courses, which is continuing education. So once I left Howard, every weekend I was doing CE courses. I was flying out to all different CE programs. I wanted to train with the best of the best. I looked up who's the best and what, and I pretty much tried to find a CE course that they were doing. And, I did budget and I made sure that my education was the most important thing to me, because I learned that no one can take my education away. No one can stop me from my knowledge. Being a dentist, the good thing about it, it's a skill. It's something that you can only do. Nobody can walk off the street and go into your office and become the dentist. Only you can. So your knowledge is power. So throughout my career, I knew being very educated and taking advantage of all CE courses was really, really important to me. And that translates in my office because I provide so many services and I feel comfortable doing them. But I also know my limits as well. I never get to a point where I'm like trying to save a tooth when I know it can't be saved, and it's probably best for a specialist to do it. But overall, majority of my cases, I don't refer out. I take care of everything. So I do ortho, I do Invisalign. So I do Invisalign, I do Spark. I do endo, I do molar endo, I do wisdom teeth extraction. I do crowns, bridges. I do veneers as well. So I try to do a lot of makeover cases. I do dentures, partials.
Oh my goodness.
I pretty much do everything. And the funny thing is, you had asked me earlier, what is my favorite procedure? I don't have one.
You don't have a favorite? Oh, really?
I don't have one.
It's not a DO on 29?
No.
We always say, what's your favorite tooth?
I'm not going to tell because my patients are going, well, you hate doing this. I don't want to.
Right. Smart you are.
Yeah, so there's no procedure that I love to do. I honestly just like, I like being able to just wake up and, one day I'm doing all veneers, or one day I'm doing implants, or one day I'm doing fillings all day, or one day I might be doing scaling root plantings all day. I like just being able to kind of just move.
And the variety too of the day. Yeah, but what I would love for the mentees to really, what stood out to me and what I want them to remember is investing in yourself.
Yes.
Because those CEs are not cheap, and your travel is not cheap, especially now. post care,
Yeah. When they find out
lodging,
you're the
food.
owner, they just want the top-notch package for you.
Yeah, right, right. But like you said, no one can take that away. And
Mhm.
by getting that extra education, just also builds up your confidence to know that you can do it. Because I know I was in school 2 decades ago, but coming right out, you have to get more experience. You have to get more education. They say you know enough after graduating from dental school not to hurt anybody, but to really expand all those skills, it takes the continuing education. So
Yeah.
and implants too, especially.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And I knew that I wanted to be a solo doc, which means just being in an office by yourself. So
Mhm.
I knew I wanted to I wanted to make sure I'm in a position where I felt comfortable doing work and I was, in the office by myself.
Yeah.
Um, so that was really important to me. And it just goes back to my personality. I've always wanted to be the best.
Yeah.
And to be the best, I had to be educated and I had to know my stuff. I had to know the information and be confident and competent as
Mhm.
well.
Oh,
Mhm.
well, that is great. That is great. Oh, thank you so much for sharing that with us. And
Sure.
now students can really just remember that as they're going through school, because you can take advantage when you're in dental school to do some of the continuing education with your mentors, and sometimes they have student rates. So just make sure to do that. Thank you so much for sharing.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think we need to have you back on a leadership development webinar
So
because
they're
it's
happy.
hard. Yeah.
We have competitions. So my team, we have competitions on certain goals in the office, and we reached a goal today. And one of my manager was like, "Yeah, I'm saying it in a slang terminology, but she was just like, yeah, Doc, we reached the goal today, so you know what that means." So we put tickets in a bucket, and at the end of the month, we go out to dinner, or I just give it to them, cash.
Nice.
So yeah, so they're excited. So I love that. I love that
Mhm.
environment. I've always wanted a work environment, and it goes back to when I was 13 years old. And I was working at that orthodontist office.
Oh,
And remember
yeah.
I mentioned it was just so happy in there.
Yeah. Yeah.
The
So
team
he
was so
was like your
happy.
mentor there. I mean, definitely, right? I mean, he was the one who inspired you.
Yeah, and we used to go out to dinner every Friday with him, and it's so funny looking back. I didn't realize how good of a boss he was,
Mm,
and
mhm.
how he was a great dentist clinician, but he was just a great person and a great leader. And I wanted to make sure that those same goals and values were in my office. So I'm grateful that I was able to translate that as well.
Oh, that's great. Oh, definitely. Yeah, because like when you were mentioning not being in your own practice, you're not really aligned. When it's not in alignment with your values, then that's when you don't have that fulfillment.
Yeah.
So being able to create that for yourself and for the team, of course, they're going to want to do whatever you set the bar to, and to make them excited to continue on with you. So yeah, I think knowing that that is a skill, that is a trait, and it's not to say no one can learn how to be a good leader. I think getting the right tools to know how to do it, and being able to express that when you're applying for dental school, because they do look to see how are you leading, how are you serving the community, and unless you're doing that in an intimate level, what I tell the students is you don't have to be in like every single organization. It's not the quantity. It's like how much are you involved within those select few, like as far as leading them and starting new initiatives. So absolutely. Well, that is great.
I would love
So
to come talk
you
about
had
leadership.
a
Love.
what was that?
I would love to come back and talk about leadership. I love leadership.
Oh
So
yeah, okay. Well, I already wrote you down. So we will break it down, because visionary leadership, I mean, there's servant leadership, and I would have to say too, if you look at all the theologies around leadership, sometimes if you look at all the books, they may be a different, oh gosh, what's the word? I mean, leading as a student of color or a person of color is how we relate to others, and from our perspective might be different than what has been the traditional, what looks like a leader, how you should lead. I feel like if we're leading authentically, who we are, and not trying to be someone we're not, then that's
Yeah.
where the magic comes in. And that's why you have been so successful with your team, because you're being who you are and leading the way Dr. Asante knows to lead. So,
Oh, absolutely. I think
impressive.
as a leader, and I hope I don't digress because I just love leadership. But
Yeah, no, this is good. This will be the leadership podcast.
one thing that I always recommend anybody, even just going into dental school or applying, you really have to know who you are. When you are very in tuned in who you are, and having uh, some type of what's a word for it? The universe or somebody you believe in. I'm a
Hmm.
Christian, so I
Hmm.
believe in Jesus Christ. So
Hmm.
having a fulfillment in your faith,
Yeah.
and having clarity on who you are and your purpose, that definitely helps with leader. It makes leadership more easy because you're just pouring out your purpose. It's not necessarily micromanaging or anything. It's just really you being your authentic self and just pouring out what God already downloaded in you.
Mm.
And for pre-dental students, the journey of wanting to be a dentist is very the great thing about it is, as you're learning who you are in this industry, you become more firm and you become more clear on who you are, and
Hmm.
you'll realize being a dentist is not just drilling and filling teeth and meeting people. It's so much deeper than that.
Yeah.
If you're willing to take the time to appreciate the journey and everything
Hmm.
that comes.
Oh, I love it. Yes, that's so true. You've shared so many, great advice. Is there something you wish you had known y- earlier that you would have told your younger self, or maybe something you'll just share with a mentee?
Um, hmm. No, not really.
Yeah.
I think that my journey into becoming a dentist was very precious. I say
Mm.
that because I think as a young child, I had to use my faith to get me here because
Mhm.
I am the only doctor in my family.
Wow.
Um,
Yeah.
there was nobody there to tell me what to do.
Right.
My parents, uh, my mom wanted me to be Oprah.
Auntie Oprah?
Yeah, because
I
she
can
knew I
look up.
talk a lot. My mom wanted me to be a talk show host when I was a kid, or a nurse. My dad just wanted me to have a job. So there wasn't no big the way my life is now, my parents didn't really have that expectation for me.
Mm.
So my journey was very much so finding who I was within that pushed me to where I am today. It was my faith. So um the reason why I have no answer to that is because I feel like during the time of my younger self, because I was so focused on wanting to be a dentist,
Hmm.
each minute of my life, everything I needed to know, I knew.
Right, right, right.
Yeah. Even when I was an undergrad at Morgan State University, I didn't get into dental school the first time I applied.
Hmm.
Um, but I felt like it was that small voice within me and my faith that really pushed me to say, no, this is for you.
Hmm.
Um, and then, as I mentioned before, having destiny helpers, aka mentors, in
Yeah.
my life, that anytime I did hit a wall, they redirected me to where I needed to go.
Oh,
So there's no really advice that I would say
right,
to
right.
my then. I think the advice that I needed every minute, every second of my journey was given to me, and I received it and I listened, and my life right now is a manifestation of me listening to those opportunities throughout the way.
Oh, that's beautiful. I mean, that's the perfect answer, because it just shows, I feel, if I'm repeating it right, so you just trusted the process and trusted in God that his path is probably greater than you had ever even expected it to be, and to trust in him there, right?
And I'm not the only there's so many people that have my profile, especially in minority groups, where your family, that you don't really have someone close to you that's in this career. And it's sometimes I think dentistry is very it's not very publicized, I think. Like when we go to school, it's like be a doctor. So you're
Right,
thinking of
right.
physician,
Yeah,
lawyer,
yeah,
engineer.
yeah.
No, people do say dentist, but it's not very common. So sometimes that path to get there is not very clear.
Mhm.
Even at Morgan State, when I was there, I think I was the only student that wanted to be a dentist. And this is out
No.
of 700 students in
Oh,
my class.
wow. And that's what needs to change. And that's what we're hoping to do by reaching our youth sooner so we can get them on the right path. And so they're not taking something and then having to start over and the financial barriers of having to start over. And but it's true. It's like we have those gems who are these students who really are loving STEM and they're talking, but the first thing a career counselor says, oh, well, you should go into nursing or go into medicine, but we need to educate them too about dentistry being a great option for these students. Oh, goodness gracious. I know we could talk for hours, but we'll definitely have to have you back on. Let's really dig deeper into these leadership development skills because it just helps us as we move on. You need it in dentistry, even if you're not a practice owner. When you're the dentist in the practice, you are the leader there, and it really does start from the top on how you communicate with the patients. It's how the team will communicate and within one another, and to have that building a culture of mutual respect and belonging. So, okay, so we'll just plan to have you back for that. But is
Yeah,
there Yes,
it's 30 minutes past already. Oh, God.
yes, already. Oh my goodness. We're about 5 minutes before the hour, but is there anything you would like to leave our mentees with who will be watching this on the playback?
You are already ahead of the curve because you're taking the time out to watch videos like this
Mhm.
and to be a part of different organizations that help people that have similar backgrounds as you. And because of that, you're already going to be great, but you have to take the torch to the end. And
Mhm.
I'm grateful to impart my journey on you guys, and I hope that you guys listen to all the great advice and walk the journey out. And if you are consistent, faithful, and always ahead of the game, you will reach your journey. You will become a dentist.
Oh, I love it. Yes, because we did it. So can they, right?
Yeah, I know. I did it.
Yeah, we did. Well, how can people reach out to you? Your website? Can you share your website or any other accounts you would like to share?
Absolutely. So I know a lot of mentees are probably on Instagram.
Yeah.
My Instagram name is Dr. Arlene Asante. And then my TikTok name is Dr. Arlene Asante as well. Same thing on Facebook. And I do also have a YouTube channel as well,
Oh, great,
Dr.
great, great. Yeah, you
Asante.
do. But I
Yeah,
didn't
so
know about the TikTok. You're cool.
I
Wait,
love the TikTok, so I have to meet them halfway.
you did. You did. Sorry, tell me your YouTube channel again. I think I talked over it.
I think it's Dr. Arlene Asante. Yeah,
No
Dr.
worries.
Arlene.
And we'll link everything in the description. I know everyone is going to be eager to learn even more about you because you have just inspired them to do it, know they can, and know each person's journey is different, but there is kind of that blueprint of at least what you need to have in certain areas, but getting these little special insider tips, and that we call the game plan in the huddle. We appreciate you imparting that on us as well. And everybody, please continue to communicate with your mentors. If you have any questions, you can always reach us at diversityanddentistry.org. We are setting our Diversified Dentistry Youth Summit. It's going to be in Phoenix, Arizona, and October 20th. Some more information is coming about that. And that is all we have for today, but we'll be back next week with another episode. And thank you again, Dr. Arlene Asante, for joining us on Beyond the Smile.
It's a pleasure. Bye.
Bye. Thank you. Thank you for joining us on another episode of Beyond the Smile. If you need a dental mentor, or you would like to be a mentor, or even if you would like to support our mission to strengthen the diversity pathway from middle school to dental school, please visit our website for more information at diversityindentistry.org. Please share this episode, subscribe to our podcast, and together we can raise the next generation of diverse leaders in dentistry. We did it, so can you.